pleased to be with you today to introduce our guest speaker, Franco Scanga. Franco is a proud resident of Durham Region who recently went through some challenging times with his father when his father and his aunt were faced with cancer. Franco was inspired by their courage and decided to take on his own fear head on and help in the fight against cancer. Like many people, Franco has a fear of public speaking. To defeat his fear, he is making an attempt at a Guinness World Record for most speeches in a day. He is delivering 23 unique speeches today throughout Durham Region with a goal of raising $16,000 for the Canadian Cancer Society. Since this is a Guinness World Record attempt, there are some procedures that have to be observed. Franco will be making one speech at each of the predetermined venues today. Each speech must be a minimum of 10 minutes in duration. To mark this duration, a bell will signal the start and the end of the speech. In order to beat the previous record, held a record of 21 speeches in 24 hours, Franco will be making 23 speeches in 14 hours. To meet this strict deadline, Franco will have to depart the venue immediately after each speech. Franco and his family sincerely appreciate you attending this venue immediately after, attending this speech and your support for this event. His team will need to take a photo of the audience or evidence of the speech. We ask that you please remain where you are after the speech. Each of the speeches are different from one another, but share an overall theme, facing our fears and challenges. Finally, Franco is here to present speech number 14, entitled Brick by Brick. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Franco Scanga.
Come on in. Come on in. We'll wait for the time to start. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for coming here today to speech number 14. Appreciate you coming out on such a beautiful day to support a good cause. Now, the speech is a little different in that most of the speeches I'm talking about some of the fears and challenges that I had to overcome in undertaking this event. Talk about, taking the first step, to staying in motion, talk about the value of fear, what I've learned about the value of purpose in undertaking this event, the value of an experience, all these things. But few have actually spoken about my dad. And as Mark mentioned in the introduction, my dad is my kind of the inspiration for me to undertake this event, and inspiration and motivation to undertake this event. The courage that he's shown in the past in facing cancer, the courage that he's showing now in facing cancer once again, really was the motivation for me to take on something that's fearful, but not in comparison in any way to what many of our friends and family have faced with cancer. So I call this brick by brick, and this one's a little different. I talk a little bit about my dad in a way. In the last event, I'll talk a little bit more, elaborate a little more on my dad. Without embarrassing him, I don't think my dad's right there. But sorry for pointing your eyes. But my dad was a bricklayer, and I want to start off with a quote that says, "It's not the beauty of a building that one should look at. It's the construction of the foundation that will stand the test of time." And so, as I mentioned, this event is dedicated to my dad, and as well as my aunt and many others that have faced cancer in our family and friends. My dad came to Canada in 1965 and to build a new life, brick by brick. Over the next, I'm going to date you now, 65 years, he built a life with my mom and our family, brick by brick. And as his son, along with my three brothers, we'd also get to help him out as laborers. My father was a bricklayer, and he'd work, Monday to Friday, and then there's weekends where he would continue to work. Always side jobs, chimneys, fireplaces, you name it. And so as we get older, we get into high school and university, we're able to help our father out on our free time. And we were happy to do that. So in speaking of the theme of the event, which is facing one's fears and facing one's challenges, I want to share with you some of the lessons I learned in working with my dad, how, the lessons I learned in bricklaying applied not only to my life, but in undertaking this challenge here. And we always say in our house there was 2 seasons, winter and chimney season. So some of the lessons I learned from my dad and how I applied them to this event. The first one, the bricklaying, obviously it's hard work. It's physical, usually it's hot, long days, even if they're short days, they were long days, and discipline. I applied those attributes to this event in the following ways: more mental than physical, but with a focus on the tasks, a lot of manual work, a lot of long hours, and self-discipline. I learned working with that. Second was patience. There's only one way in bricklaying to build a wall. Start from the bottom and move up. There's no fast way to do it. Believe me, tried. There's no fast way to build a wall or a chimney or a fireplace. You gotta start from the bottom up. Brick by brick. There's no rush. We never, my dad's always, can't rush it. There's no shortcuts, even if you tried. And this event, the same principles applied. I had to be thoughtful, I had to take the time to reach out to community groups throughout the region, meet everyone one by one to tell the story. And then there was no shortcuts to it. Take time regardless of the obstacles. Third thing I learned from my dad in bricklaying was his honesty. He's always honest with his customers, or patrons. And he'd always do the job right, do it fair. And for that, he had years of references, people, passing on his number, his contact information to do work for them, and so on and so forth. In fact, it wouldn't be unusual to go to the grocery store, or recently we were at the hospital doing some tests with my dad, and the receptionist said, "Hey Tony, how you doing? You still building houses?" I said, no, I'm retired now. He said, I'm watching, my children, my brother's children, and all the grandkids. And she goes, oh yeah, it's great, good to see you. And walked away, and I said, who's that? He had no idea. He had no idea because he had helped so many people in the community that it could have been someone he helped 10 years ago who owned a house and so on. And he had that way with people. So what I took away from that is to be honest in this event. I'll be honest with myself and being honest especially with the community and telling the story. Being transparent about the cause which we're undertaking, that fears usually, you don't like to divulge those things, right, to people. You don't want to divulge our fears to people. This was something for me that was a change, but it was the honesty I learned from my dad, to be open and honest with people that you share the community with. Now I want to share, I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard of the parable of the bricklayer. I've never heard it until I actually came across it here, but I want to share it with you. And it's a story about how in 1666 there was a fire which happened, leveled almost all of London, England, including, I believe it was St. Paul's Cathedral. And there was a person by the name of Christopher Wren, and he was at the time the world's foremost architect, and he was commissioned to rebuild St. Paul's Cathedral. As the story goes, he's walking through the project, he comes across 3 bricklayers, and he asks them all the same question. He asked them all, "What are you doing?" And the first bricklayer says, "I'm working." The second bricklayer says, "I'm building a wall." The third bricklayer says, "I'm building a cathedral to the Almighty." And we don't know if that story is true or not. I think it's more of a metaphor that the cathedral is more about how we lead our lives as responsible and respectful members of the community. And I think this applies to Mount Zion Lodge as well. So brick by brick, you help others in the community build their own cathedrals. You demonstrate those same attributes that my father taught me so many years ago and applied this same thing. And that is that hard work, patience, and honesty are the true foundations of helping those in need. And I saw this parable and I looked back on all the years working with my dad. My dad wasn't teaching us how to build a wall or how to work. He was teaching us to build a cathedral, to be responsible members of the community. I think a large part was a motivator, was the lessons I learned to help me take on this event. Well, it's not the beauty of a building that one should look at. It's the construction of the foundation that will stand the test of time. I want to thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to listen to my speech and support this event. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the afternoon. Thank you.